Good evening, Dhamma friends who have joined for Sutta Discovery, this Sutta discussion organized by Buddhist Fellowship. Before we get started, shall we pay respect to the Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Right. Welcome back. Today is the second day of Sutta discussion, which is called as Sutta Discovery. As you learned just now, the Sutta discussion for Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta includes 20 days. That means today will be the second day, 18 more days, right? And you may have learned an introduction about the Sutta last Tuesday. And today we are going to discuss the Sutta. Let me share my screen. I hope that you all have access to this document through Google Classroom. So probably going to use, let's say, maybe this one, this document easily. Yeah. So we discuss about these two parts and an overview on that day. So we learned that there are two extremes way. One of them is Kama Sukha Yoga, while the other one is Attakilamatthana Yoga, right? So Kama Sukha Yoga means sensual indulgence, and Attakilamatthana Yoga means self-modification. I think you know these two terms and you know with their translations. But we are going to understand what this first one is about. Today we will be studying about Kama Sukha Yoga. Right? Kama Sukha Yoga. Although you may translate this to be sensual indulgence, there are a lot of things to learn about this particular extreme. First, let's read the text. Yo chayam kamesu kama sukhallikanu yogo hino gammo potujjaniko anariyo anatta sam. Now, Kama Sukha Yoga has been explained by the Buddha. Pursuit of sensual happiness and sensual pleasures, which is hino means low, gammo means vulgar, potujjanico means relevant to the unenlightened beings, anariyo means not noble, ignoble, anatta sankito means not connected with the path. Path mean? What does path mean here? You can type your answers. I can see. Path here means the Noble Eightfold Path. So, by practicing the Kama Sukha Yoga, one will never understand the Noble Eightfold Path. One will never go to the Noble Eightfold Path. Right? So, it's pretty concerning. This is very concerning. So, we're going to be learning what does this Kama Sukha Yoga mean. In order to explain that, I'm going to show you another what you call text, probably a note. Kama, Sukha, Allika, Anuyo. Kama means sensual pleasures. Sukha means happiness. Allika, the Pali word called Allika means clinging. Allika means clinging. Anuyoga means an application or a devotion or a practice. Now, the problem is not about the sensual happiness. The problem is the clinging part. Right? Clinging is the problem. Now, as lay people, what do you think about karma? Are you supposed to go away from all your karmas? You aren't supposed to go away from karmas. Yes, you need karmas. This word karma is a neutral word. Sometimes it can be ethically positive or ethically negative. Now, there are some of the words with karma that go by not only karma, but also Dhammacakkappavattana. What is it? Dhammacakkappavattana. I'm going to write it here. Dhammacakkappavattana. What is it? Is Gammo related to Gam? No, Gam. Village. Village means Gam, not Gam. Pali word village is Gam, not Gam. Dhammacakkappavattana. Dhammacakkappavattana means okay. Dhammacakkappavattana means what do you call any desire to learn Dhamma. That means karma is not always taken as a bad meaning, right? Dhammacakkappavattana bhavang hoti, Dhamma desi parabhang. Having a desire to learn Dhamma is good, but if somebody hates Dhamma, it's going to be a downfall. So here we are learning the very famous idea of the karma. So here karma means sensual pleasures, but the issue is allika. Allika means clinging. What does teachings? Clinging. We have another term for that. Upadana. Right? Upadana. That's the formal word. But allika also means a clinging. So karma is okay, but the problem is when somebody clings to karma, it's not going to be okay. Any example? A very simple example. Let's say someone has certain karmas, rupa karmas. Rupa karma means certain forms, certain images that that person likes, maybe in the form of people or things. Someone may like certain sounds, right? Someone may like certain taste, certain smell, maybe certain, I would say, touch, maybe certain thoughts, right? But the problem is if that person is creating a greed toward those karmas, then it will take that person into upadana. Now, allika means any upadana towards the karma. So that is going to be a problem. So in order to understand about karma sukallika yoga, we need to understand a little bit about karma. So here, I'm trying to show you a basic difference between karma and chanda. You can see the two words, karma and chanda. Now, in most of the Dhamma teachings, Buddha talks about, in which Buddha talks about what you call karma and chanda, especially desire. The Buddha explains that what do we have, what should we have in order to attain Nibbana? Is it a desire, or is it a karma, or is it a chanda? Normally, we are asked to have a chanda. Chanda means a desire, not a karma. But in some places, you can see we should have a karma towards Dhamma, like in the Parabhava Sutta. See, Dhammacakkappavattana bhavang hoti, Dhammadisi Parabha. Now, in this example, you can see how the Buddha uses the word chanda, Pali word chanda, for desire, especially about right effort. Samma vayam. Katamo chausu samma vayamo. What is the right effort? Idausu bhikkhu, and as you can see, it is when a bhikkhu generates enthusiasm. That means chanda, right? Tries, makes an effort, exerts the mind, and strives so that bad, unskillful qualities don't arise. So generate enthusiasm. This is the meaning of chanda. So chanda, the word chanda, which is very similar to karma in another context, so in a good way, has been used to talk about any desire for good things. But still, as lay people, you are supposed to have healthy karmas. Because if you are trying to get away from karmas, there may be some certain repercussions. That's why Buddhism has been suffering in spreading in many places. But Dhamma talks and all the talks are going to start from saying that you should stop karma. For people who are on karma, right? So it needs a healthy, moderate level of karma, and then to think about the Dhamma, not to go away from whole karma. People will not like it. The general society won't like it. And it's not going to work also. Buddha never said so. Buddha never said that for the lay people to keep away from karmas. For monks, it could be a different thing. Monks, it could be a different thing. But for lay people, Buddha asks to understand that you should not develop a craving and then an upadana, clinging to what's a karma. This is very interesting. Now, karma, the word karma, as we said, sensual desire, as a ditti is more dangerous and results in an abundance of akusalas. What does it mean? What is ditti? Ditti means our views, right? Our views. Now, when you are having certain karmas with certain dittis, if you are bringing your karmas into clinging, then that will create more akusalas. One example, drinking alcohol as a usual thing, maybe a social thing, and drinking alcohol by rationalizing drinking. How do we understand? Somebody might say, I drink, I may be having a social drink, right? But somebody else might say, no, drinking is okay. It doesn't matter. I'm going to drink. So that person is creating a certain view, ditti, about drinking. Let's say someone makes a mistake, maybe unintentionally, maybe kills certain beings. But somebody is saying that, maybe having an idea to think that it's okay to kill other beings. So whenever someone is making an akusala with a view, with a ditti, that is creating more akusals. All right? That creates more akusala. Now, enjoying karmas as a normal thing and enjoying karmas by rationalizing karma, it's okay to, do as such, create certain different consequences. That means karma is okay, enjoying is okay for a lay person, but trying to create a very extreme understanding, extreme expectation about their karmas could create akusalas. Okay? I will be answering questions later, okay? Otherwise, I will not be able to finish this discussion. Later, I will pick up all these questions. All right. And then, so karma as a ditti is more dangerous. Karma alone can be, used as a healthy thing. Now let's go for 5 precepts, right? Now, we are not supposed to take other living beings' lives. We are not supposed to take what's not given. We are not supposed to. This is interesting. Kamesu michachar. We'll start from there. Kamesu michachar. What does it mean? I'm not going to misbehave in karmas. That means karmas are okay. Don't misbehave. That means on the other side, kamesu sammacham. I behave in my karmas well. Right? That means for a layperson, a healthy way of practicing karma is okay. Right? But I should not misbehave in my karmas. It could be sexual misconduct. It could be even any misconduct with your other senses. Right? And when it comes to musavada, I'm not going to lie. And Suramere, it's quite interesting. I'm not going to take any food or beverage that clouds my mind. But let's say someone without notice gets to consume certain food and beverages. At that point, this person has no ditti. But there may be somebody who might be taking lots of unnecessary food and beverages so that that person will be clouded in his or her mind. So that second example is a view. Kama goes with a view, a ditti. So that creates more akusala. Kama without ditti, kama with ditti. Right? The scope of kama, what is it? Kamavachara realm, Rupavachara realm, Arupavachara realm. What does scope of kama mean? That means kama is relevant to all three worlds. We have three types of worlds in Buddhist studies, Buddhist teaching. Kamavachara world means the sensual world. We understand 6 heavens, the human world, and 4 hells. Then Rupavachara world, there are 16 Brahma worlds, and Arupavachara world has 4 Brahma worlds. So all these beings in these 3 types of worlds are suffering, going through karmas. That's why even when you become a Sotapanna, you still have karma. Right? Sotapanna person can still maintain a family. Even a Sakadagami person. Because they do not give up, they do not overcome lust, kamara. But Sakkaya Ditti, what you call ego in your own word, maybe personality belief, Silabhata Paramas, extreme sealers, then Vichikicha, spiritual doubts will be, overcome by a Sotama. A Sakadagami will only diminish lust and hatred, but still they have lust and hatred. Only when you become an Anagami, non-returner, you will overcome lust completely. But still you have certain other karmas. You won't have kamaraga, what you call lust, but you have ruparaga, aruparaga, which means until you attain nibbana, you will still have what you call desires to be reborn in a Brahma world, material Brahma world, and in a material Brahma world. So this means not only the Kamavachara world is struggling with the karmas, but also the Rupavachara and Arupavachara. So the scope of karma is huge, enormous. It actually goes to all the 3 worlds. Why is a discussion of karma very important? This is very interesting to know. Now, when somebody comes to see the Buddha, if the conditions are good, then the Buddha starts giving a Dhamma talk. Now, his Dhamma talk is usually showing an order. This is the order. First, he talks about Dana, about the generosity. Because without talking about the Dana, nobody will be able to practice the Dhamma. That means when somebody approaches the Buddha, he does not talk about Bhavana, meditation. One has to be generous in the first place. Dana is very important, very, very important. Dana itself is a meditation. The dana is not a physical activity only. The true dana means that you have to overcome lobha, dosa, moha. It's a mental activity. It's not just that you are giving food, you are giving an ampa. It goes beyond that physical activity. It's a mental activity. That's why Buddha starts talking about dana in the first place. Anybody comes to him, dana is the first thing. You have to practice dana in the first place. Then, if the conditions are met, he goes to the next topic. Sila. Sila is the discipline. Discipline does not have rules, huh? A wrong translation. Some people translate Sila means to be rules. We don't have rules in Buddhism. We have discipline. We are self-disciplining. Huh? Sila. You may have precepts. Precepts are self-driven. You know what you are doing. Then he talks about heaven, Sagga, which means what is happening to other people when they die. There are lots of other worlds when somebody is going to be reborn. Then if the conditions are more met, then he's going to talk about this topic, Kamana Adina, danger of sensual pleasures. Why is it? Now, some people might wrongly understand if this idea, this order at this point, isn't it that the Buddha is talking that we have to go away from, we have to give up all karmas? No, Buddha is saying that use karmas, but be careful. There are dangers. Right? There are dangers. It's like that people use social media in today's world. Right? Is social media bad? Social media is not bad. The way how we use the social media is evil and bad. Could be bad. It's like a double-edged sword. You have to know how to use it. It's like money. Is money evil? Or the way how we use money is evil? It is the way how we're going to use the money, not the money. So, karmas are dangerous in the way how we are going to use. That's why Buddha is saying the dangers of unwise use of karma. Here is a topic. Then he comes down to another topic. If things are met, conditions are met, nekkhamma. The opposite side of karma is nekkhamma, means renunciation. You know, once in a while you're going to be a vegetarian. Huh? Full moon, new moon days, you're going to be vegetarian. Other 28 days, you are going to be not a vegetarian. Isn't it? Right? 28 days, you are not vegetarian. But on full moon day, new moon day, you are vegetarian. So that means you are going to practice nekkhamma. It's okay. At least you are trying to understand what is it. What is it becoming a vegetarian, at least for 2 days. So in the same way, time to time, we should try to practice something that people say we can practice, you know, taking 8 precepts, maybe, once in a while, trying to be a novitiate, trying to see, how to become a vegetarian, right? How to practice certain, particular Dhamma activities, right? But never ever go to the extreme of any practice. There are people who are going to break their lay life and then to practice the Dhamma. That is a very unwise move. You have to keep your lay life and practice. You can practice everything. You can become an even arahant as a lay person, but die as an arahant. Right? There are so many stories in the Buddhist text. Bahya Daruchiri, as a lay person, he became an enlightened person, arahant. So many people attend Sotapanna, Sakadagami, and Anagami as lay people. It is not that just because you have lots of excitement that you have to become a monk or not. You don't have to. Because you can become that person as a lay person. You might fall that your household is a very struggling place. The Buddha said they are blessings. They are blessings in disguise. You know, if you think that your household is a place where you have lots of obstructions in the way you see, those obstructions are blessings in disguise. So you can practice your metta, karuna, mudita, upekha. At the same time, understand what is happening. If you go to a temple, you don't have obstructions. But just becoming a monk and nun does not guarantee you will become an arahant. It's just a difference between the environments, and then you might certainly do certain things. So I'm trying to say, when you need to understand this karma and nekkhamma, don't go to extreme plans by breaking your lay life and everything. That is going to be an unwise move. Now, if things are met, if conditions are met, Buddha is talking about nekkhamma. Nekkhamma means renunciation. Renunciation in terms of probably a certain food, maybe probably the state of mind in terms of different things, right? Right? Renunciation. Then only Buddha talks about the Four Noble Truths. See, Chattari Arya Sancha. I think nowadays, when you listen to I would say, a general Dhamma talk, they directly go into the Four Noble Truths, right? So that people think that we have to give up our whole lay life, right? Even the Buddha did not do that. So Buddha wanted to start the Dhamma talk culture one by one, topic by topic, not go to the Four Noble Truths in the first place. Then what is happening to the life of somebody? So the first thing is Dana. People have to understand Dana, then Sila, then Sagga, Kamanang Adinava, Nekkhamma, then only go to the. So the point I'm trying to make here is that karma, the subject of karma, is a point of interest of the Buddha when he is giving a Dhamma. See, Kamanang Adinava and Nekkhamma. So that's interesting. So that means not giving up karma, having a good understanding of karma is very necessary to practice the Dhamma. A good understanding. What is karma? How is the karma working in my life? How are the karmas are going to work for my family in my life, right? If you are in a relationship, if you are having, friendships, if you are with so many luxurious things, so you have to understand whether karmas are taking me over, whether I take the karmas over. This is very interesting. Then we're going down. Karma as a force of Mara. Interesting, huh? Mara. These are the armies of Mara. Mara has 10 armies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can see, Karma is the first army of the Mara, sensual pleasures. Second, Arati, discontent. Third, Kuppipasa, hunger and thirst. Even when we are hungry and thirsty, we call it a force of Mara. Then Tanha, craving. Tina Midda, slow temper. Bhiru, fear. Vichikicha, doubt. Makha and Thamba, conceit and ingratitude. Labo, Siloko, Sakharu, gain, renown, and honor, also receive. Attanang Samukhanse, Parecha Avajanam, self-exaltation and disparaging. I think these are normal things that we see in many people in today's world, right? Even when you are hungry, it is a part of this Mara's force. Even when you are scared of something, it's a part of the Mara's influence. Even when you are ungrateful to somebody for whatever the reason, it's a force of Mara. Even if you are looking after gains, good reputations, and honor and all this stuff, also part of the Mara. Even when you are trying to think that you are better than other people and you know everything other people don't, it's also part of Mara. Now, the interesting thing here is that karma is the first army of the Mara. That means we have to be very careful when we are handling our own karmas. All right. Now, before we go further about karmas, I want to share with you something. The karma Sukallikkhana yoga here means, once again, that a grasping and upadana towards the karma. Now you understand, karma is okay, but when you have an upadana to the karma, it's not okay, right? Because that will create so much issues. Now you see the ascetic Siddhartha's life, right? Now ascetic Siddhartha gave up all the pleasures. Let me ask you, now the Buddha says that he gave up Kama Sukallikkhana yoga and Atta Kilamatana yoga. In which duration did he give up Kamasukha? Any thoughts? He gave up Kamasukha Yoga during his lay life. Right? As we understand, he spent a very cozy life before he became an ascetic. Extremely cozy life, luxurious life. That is when he practiced the Kamasukha. Too much calm. And he practiced Attakalamatana Yoga after became an ascetic. This is how we understand this too. So in short, what you need to understand is any any grasping, any upadana towards the karma is not good. That is an obstruction to your Dhamma path. I mean, the path that you are going to practice later here, the Noble Eightfold Path. Now we are going to discuss about certain, I would say, a little bit higher teachings about the karma. Now, what did the Buddha say about karma? In one sutta, this is called Nibbedika Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya, Buddha says, our karmas should be known as a penetrative teaching. That means karma has to be penetrated, has to be known properly, has to be known completely. How to know our karmas completely? Let's go here. Karma should be known. The course of karma by which karma comes to play should be known. That means the course of karma. And the diversity of in karma should be known. The result of karma should be known. The cessation of karma should be known. And the path of practice for the cessation of karma should be known. What does it mean? The Buddha says, not a simple understanding of karma is enough, adequate. We need to know what are the causes of my own karma. And what are the different types of karmas? And what will happen when I have karmas? And I have to understand that there is a way how I can cease, stop karmas, unnecessary karmas. And there is a path to cease my unnecessary karma. So these things have to be thoroughly understood if we really want to get rid of unnecessary karmas. Now let me ask you here, as you can see, diversity. What is diversity? Is karma monotonous? Is karma monotonous? Or do you see karma as very specific, or karma is something very diversified? Now, how many karmas are there? Let's learn the different karmas. Huh? There are 6 types of karmas. I probably go to the text over here. Yeah, okay, much better. There are 6 types of karmas. The first karma is Rupa karma. Rupa karma means karmas, sensual desires you are making through your eyes. Then Saddha karma. Saddha karma means karmas in the form of sounds. Sound. This one, images, big form. The third karma is Rupa Saddha Gandha karma. That means smell. The fourth one is Rupa Saddha Gandha Rasa. Rasa karma. That means taste. The fifth karma is Pottabha. Pottabha karma. That means touch. The last one is Dhammacakkappavattana. Now here Dhammacakkappavattana means thoughts. How do we understand this? Now this is the manifestation of karma. There are different types of karma. That means the Rupa karma is different from Saddha karma. The karma that we have about the form is different from the karmas we have towards the sound. Now, in a very short example, I can say there are people who would like to see certain things and people. There are other people who would like to hear sounds. They are more into sounds, music. There are other people who are not into either of those two. They prefer certain food. That means they have rasakam. And there are certain other people who might like to have certain thoughts on a day. That means they have Dhammacakkappavattana. So karmas are very different from one to one. Right? Different people have different karmas as priority. We may all have these karmas, but the way how we create more karmas could be different. We may have a certain fascination, preference towards certain karmas. That is what we understand by what we call these karmas, manifestation, rupa karma, sabda karma, gandha karma, rasa karma, pottabha karma, and dhamma karma. And then, let's see here, we are going to understand. This is very interesting. Now, earlier we learned that karma is an object, isn't it? Now we just studied karma is an object. That means the person I see is my own karma, rupa karma. I want to see that person. I want to be with that person. Maybe the sound that I hear is my own karma. That song, that music, all that. The smell that I smell is my own karma. You could say. The food that I really like is my own karma. Maybe the touch that I have from a certain material thing or from a person is my own karma. Maybe certain thoughts that I have is my own karma, are my own karmas. But the Buddha said there are no karmas as objects. It's an illusion. He said in this sutta, same sutta, Nibbedika Sutta Anguttara Nikaya 6.63, Nate kama yani chitrani loke sankapparago purisassa kama tittani tittanti chitrani tatheva loke atetta dhira vinayanti chanda. There are no objects, as you can see the translation. You can see here that there are no beautiful sensual pleasures in this world. You might see that I have lots of karmas, I have lots of sensual pleasures, but the Buddha said there are no such beautiful sensual pleasures in this world. It is just a conceptualization. We conceptualize this person is beautiful. We conceptualize this sound is what we call pleasant. We conceptualize this smell is aromatic. We conceptualize this food is tasty, delicious. We conceptualize this touch is very cozy. And we conceptualize this mindset is very good to spend on a day. That means all these are, in the real sense, what we call, could be considered as conceptualizations. They are not real things. They are not really happening. That means we don't have true karmas actually. They are all sankappa raga. As you can see here, sankappa raga. That's very interesting to learn over here. Okay. So once again, I want to make sure that Buddha says that there are no karmas. Although we call there are karmas, they are just conceptualization, conceptualized thoughts. As in the sense of objects, they are not karmas. These are all our conceptualization. Then, this is also interesting. What is the cause by which karma comes to play? How does karma arise? It is because of passa. Passa. What does passa mean? Passa means contact. Because once you have passa, that will create vedana. Right? It will create vedana. So if you can take care of yourself at the level of passa, then you are better. You have a good management of your so-called conceptualized karmas. That means passa creates vedana. Passa means contact. How does passa arise? Avijja paccaya sankhara, sankhara paccaya vijnana, vijnana paccaya namarupam, namarupa paccaya salayatana, salayatana paccaya passo. The way how you manage your sense faculties and the objects is the way how you can minimize unnecessary contact that will eventually go to Vedana, means calmness. That means from today, if you really want to take care of your karmas, you can stop unnecessary karmas whenever or while you are, what do you call, having contact. If you take care of your contact, you are very good. You can minimize, diminish unnecessary karmas. Because once you pass that point, you are going on to Vedana side. Vedana means you have already felt something out of those. Maybe you have created certain ideas about that particular touch, particular contact. So at the level of contact, you can manage your karmas, unnecessary karmas. What is the result of karma? As you can see here, the result of karma could be merit and demerit. That means when you have karma, you could either create merit or you either create demerit. How do we understand? How can you create merits, punya, kusala, through karmas? When you have Dhamma karma, when you want to learn more Dhamma, when you learn Dhamma, when you practice Dhamma, you feel that you want to do certain things. We call it Dhamma karma, right? Also, when you are having a family, you are also creating some wholesome things. Huh? The Buddha said in the Mangala Sutta, Mata, but how did he say? Mata pitu upattana puttadarasasam. Taking care of the mother creates merits. At the same time, it creates lots of auspicious things. Not even that. Puttadarasasangam. Loving and taking care of your spouse and your children is also an auspicious thing, also a punya, merit. That's why I'm saying that a lot of people, they forget about these fundamental teachings, lay people Buddhism. Mata pitu upattanam puttadarasa sangam. Right? So now you understand that karma creates wholesome side and also unwholesome side. Unwholesome side here means when you create akusala. Taking care of your mother, taking care of your family is not akusala. Right? They are creating you onto kusalas. What is the cessation of karma? Let's say you understand certain extreme level of your karma. At that point, you want to understand how to stop this unnecessary karma. Then you will understand there is this path called the Noble Eightfold Path. See? Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappa, Samma Vacha, Samma Kammata, Samma Ajiva, Samma Vayam, Samma. So please understand, only a meditation cannot help you. Some people wrongly understand. They think the more they meditate, the shorter that they can spend in the samsara. Meditation is only one part of the Noble Eightfold Path. There are so many other things you have to start with. Yoniso Manasikara, Pachavekkana, that means wise attention and reflection is the starting point. Then Sammaditthi, right view, Samma Sankappa, right intention, Samma Vacha, right speech, Samma Kammanta, right action, Samma Ajiva, means right living, Samma Vayam, right effort, then only Samma Sati, Satipattanas and all meditations. Some people directly jump onto meditation and they don't know then why do they come to meditation? You have to come to meditation through the Noble Eightfold Path. Then you mess up. That's why the Buddha said, if you really want to stop unnecessary karmas, you must start your practice from the beginning. What is the cessation of karma? There are two things here you have to do before them. Yoniso Manasikara and Pachavekkana. This means wise attention and reflection. Then Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappu, Samma Vacha, Samma Kammantu, Samma Ajivo, Samma Vayamu, Samma Sati, Samma Samma. Now you know how to stop unnecessary karmas. Right? And then finally, before we not finally, I would say, before I'm going to finalize certain areas of this topic, I want you to look at a very famous classification of karma. You can see there, Kilesa karma, Vaktu karma. Kilesa karma and Vaktu karma. What is Kilesa karma? What is Vaktu karma? Kilesa karma means? Kilesa karma means um, whenever you are having karma as a kilesa, a mental impurity, that is called kilesa karma. Let's say you have an unnecessary karma. You have a certain uh, liking about a certain food, very extreme liking about certain, but you are not going to touch it, take it, eat it. So it's still a kilesa karma. But sometimes you will go and make it happen. It means you're going to touch it, eat it. We call it vattu karma. That means your karma lies at two levels. One is the kilesa level, one is the vattu level. So it's good, it's very fortunate that if you can stop your karmas at the kilesa karma level, not to go to the vattu karma level. Once you go to the vattu karma level, things are a bit difficult to reverse. Right? Let's say you like somebody, that likeness is here, but when you go and then do certain things, what you call subjectively, and then try to own that person physically, then things are really little hard to get back again. Right? So kilesa karma means kilesa at the mental level, vattu karma means kilesa at the object level. So if you can take care of you at the kilesa level, you are good. You can do certain things, yoniso manasikara, wise attention, and then reflection. I mean, there are certain places that you cannot help not doing. Let's say you are going into a relationship. That is a certain, so you have to do that. So it's okay. But let's say after having the relationship, you are going to look for many other people. That's going to be an extreme karma. Let's say you eat food, you are full, but you still look for the food. Not because you are full, but because you want to eat them. That is bhakti karma. They are unnecessary because it's compulsive eating. Let's say you have a beautiful family, good life, right? You can be satisfied, but you're still looking for more satisfaction. You're still feeling that I'm lacking in something just because your thoughts are working in a different other way. That will take you to vattu karma. So try to stop your karma at the kilesa karma level, not go to not cross the vattu karma level. That's very interesting to know. Huh? Then going into another area, karma. You cannot say karma does not have a value. It has a value, but the Buddha says it is a little value. Na kahapana vasena tikame subijati appasada dukkha kama iti vinyaya pandito Dhammapada 186. There is no satisfying sensual desires even with the rain of gold coins. Lots of money. For sensual pleasures give little satisfaction. Buddha never denied. He never said that karma does not have any satisfaction. There is a satisfaction. But understand the karmas when you are experiencing them as a layperson, but never ever get taken over by the karmas. Karmas should be under you, not that you are under karmas. If you're going to be under karmas, karmas will do whatever karmas want. Right? The next thing is to understand dangers of unnecessary karma. When somebody cannot make sure that I have healthy karmas, then there are terrible things that can happen in your friend's life, in your social life. How people have gone wrong with their own karmas. So what is the antidote? The direct antidote to karma is nekkhamma. The Buddha said people can develop nekkhamma sankappa as an antidote to the karma. What is Nekkhamma Sankappa? Let's develop what you call Nekkhamma thoughts, renunciation thoughts. Because we already having karma thoughts from the morning till the evening, right? From waking up till the sleep, the most thoughts that are coming to us are karma thoughts. At least we can be happy that our karmas are under management. But some people's karmas are going beyond their limits. So the Buddha said, try to bring nekkhamma thoughts as much as you can, unless they don't create a problem in you. I mean, say for instance, they don't make a problem. I mean, the way how you're going to incorporate them could be a problem. Say you have a family life, then you have to understand how I'm going to bring the nekkhamma. Nekkhamma means you are going to minimize unnecessary, what you call extreme karma thoughts in terms of the rupa, saddha, gandha, rasa, pottabba, dhamma. You want to minimize them. But still you are using enough karmas. It's like salt and sugar, right? We cannot stop salt and sugar 100%. We have to use a certain level of salt and sugar. Otherwise, we will die. Right? But if somebody is using lots of sugar, somebody is consuming lots of salt, there are repercussions those people are going to have in this life. Right? In the same way, karmas could be managed. Then, elimination of karma and entering the jhanas. Jhanas. What is jhana? You understand the jhanas? Huh? There are two ways to look at jhanas. One is the Hindu way and the Buddhist way. A lot of people understand jhanas from the Hindu way. Of course, the Buddha says that even one jhana is enough to attain Nibbana, isn't it? Yes, sutta called Attaka Nagara. Sutta name is Attaka Nagara. Sutta's number could be, as I say, Majjhima Nikaya 52. We need to read that. Attaka Nagara Sutta. Majjhima Nikaya 52. In this sutta, the Buddha says, even one jhana is enough to attain Nibbana. First jhana is also enough to attain Nibbana. Even second jhana is also enough. Even metta also enough. If you practice loving kindness, enough. It's enough to attain Nibbana. Even if you practice karuna alone, mudita alone, upekkha alone, is enough to attain Nibbana. Right? So Buddhist way of practicing jhana is different from the Hindu way. But Hindus say no. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seven, eight. You have to hit all these jhanas just to attain bliss, not nibbana. Bliss, mental happiness. So the point here is that not just looking at these two aspects of jhana, but understanding what is a jhana. Now, if you want to attain jhana, you have to give up certain unnecessary what you call karmas. Right? That is a teaching in Buddhism too. And then finally, karma is finally eliminated at the stage of the non-return. You can only remove karmas at the level of anagami. Otherwise, you have karma. So don't worry about it. What you should worry about is that whether you have vattu karma, whether your karma goes beyond kilesa. That is one thing to do. Second thing is always bring your karmas under your management. Don't let karmas control you. Bring them under you. You decide what you want to do with the karmas. Don't let karma decide what they want to do. So now, going back to the text again, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, I want to show you that this is what we understand by the karma. So, karma, sukha, that means any happiness that is coming from the sensual indulgence. Allika means here, as you can see, this word allika, so here, allika means a grasping, upadana, and upadana towards the karma. That is bad, right? That is extremely bad. But there is the healthy karma. The Buddha says this karma when it is taken to the upadana, it will become a very low practice. It will become a very, what do you call? Dhamma practice. Dhamma means practiced by the ordinary people. Potujjanika means putujjanas, like unenlightened folks. Anariyo, ignoble one, not the Arya's practice, and it won't lead you to the Nibbana. All right, now I'm going to look at the questions that you may have asked over here. First question is, view is judgment. Well, yes, it involves judgment too. View is ditti. We call it view. View creates judgment. May I know what is the difference between karma and tanha? All right. Karma can be developed to tanha level and then can be developed into upadana, grasping level. Karma can be developed into craving and then can be developed onto grasping or upadana. That is the connection. So, like simple karma is okay, but when you develop it to tanha, you have too much unnecessary karmas, extreme karmas, you will be going on to tanha and then upadana. Is mana also known as defilement? Mana is a, what you call, upakkiles. Yes, the proper word is upakkiles, mental impurity. Mana means conceit. Please explain if karma is just pleasure or does it include craving? A very good question. Karma is just pleasure. That is why I say you can have healthy karmas. But if you develop unnecessary levels of the karma, extreme level of the karma, it will lead you on to craving. As you say, lust means part of the craving, and then allika here, what you call upada. Yeah. All right. Any other questions? You can type in your questions, or maybe Sister Sonia, I think probably they can ask the questions too, right? They can ask the questions too, I think.
Yes, Bhante.
Yes.
Yes. All participants can ask the questions directly. They can raise their virtual hand and we can unmute them and they can chat with Bhante directly.
Yes. So I will read questions till I hear somebody asking questions. Bhante, you said
Bhante, yes.
Yes.
Please explain Dhammacakkappavattana again. Sorry, Bhante.
Yes. Yes. How to know how much karma is allowable as a living? That is up to different individuals. Let's say someone might say, I want to eat 1 plate of rice. Another person might say, I want to eat 2 plates of rice. Who is right? Who is wrong? Both are okay. Maybe that person needs more strength or whatever. But if you are consuming more than a certain number of plates, more than something, then you understand by yourself, this is not going to be healthy. So I think it's more likely kind of a self, what do you call, a moral compass, kind of a self boundary that you are creating for your karmas, own karmas. Sister, give me a second till I finish the questions, and then I will come to you. But you said karma itself. Phrasing is not good. Problem, but craving. Yeah. Karma is not itself a problem, but craving is a problem because craving is a what do you call, an unwholesome state. That when you develop karma with unwholesome states, it will go to craving. Can anyone have karma but no craving? Yes, that's what I'm saying to you. You can have healthy karmas without craving. That's why the Buddha said, take care of your mother, father, have a good family. When you have a good family, you can't step into other people's family. That is karma. Right? So you take care of them. You are creating merits. That is why the Buddha said, kamesu miccachara. Karmas are okay, but when you misbehave in the karmas, that's not okay. I think more questions are coming. Maybe we will let this sister ask question. Yes, Sister Kwa, Lei? You can ask the question.
Yeah, dear Bante,
Yes.
I just need some elaboration. Just now, I heard you taught us about karma versus chanda.
Hmm.
And uh, if I understood correctly, chanda is ethically positive, is it?
I would, okay, that is what I wrote over here. I was trying to say Chanda is mostly ethically positive. That means ethically positive means moral. When you have Chanda, it's a moral desire. That means we never say we want to have a karma for attaining Nibbana. We say we should have Chanda to attain Nibbana. Do you get what I mean? Now, when you are asked, now all people are trying to attain Nibbana. If somebody specifically asks, do you have a karma to Nibbana? Do you have a chanda to Nibbana? You have a chanda to Nibbana. Chanda means it's a wholesome desire. That is the difference. But karma, as you can see, as a layperson, you need karma. But we don't hold the desire to attain Nibbana as a karma. But in some suttas, like Parabhava Sutta, Buddha says, Dhammacakkappavattana bhavantu, Dhamma desi parabhava. People, the good people like Dhamma. So he used the word karma for that. The bad people, they hate Dhamma, they see para. I think there are certain few places where we see karma is also used for good things. But in the higher text of the suttas, we only find chanda. Chandam janeti vayamati viryam aradu chittam paggan padahatu samavaya. So the difference between chanda and karma is chanda is mostly wholesome, but karma is ethically neutral. It can be ethically positive, it can be ethically neutral, but chanda is ethically positive. That's how we take it.
Yeah, thank you, Bante. I
Make
think
sense?
it's very interesting that you introduce karma as neutral. That is actually very helpful for us lay people so we don't feel so guilty.
You shouldn't be guilty because starting from the kamesu michachara, how can you become guilty? When the Buddha said kamesu michachara means there is kamesu sammachara. You have to behave well in your karmas, not that you should give up karmas. That's a wrong idea. I think these lot of I don't want to call anybody's name. You hear when you hear Dhamma things, Dhamma talks, you have to give up all karmas. The starting point is give up karmas. That is not what the Buddha said. The Buddha said lay people should behave well in karma, not misbehave in karmas. That's why I say karma is a ethically a neutral word. It can be ethically positive or negative, but chanda is ethically positive.
Okay.
But don't take it for granted. Huh? You should know your own limits and then behave well.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Bante.
All right. Yes. Others, any questions in person over here? And I'll go to the chat after. I think you can raise the hand here. Yes, Brother Lo. Let's go ahead.
Okay, I unmute my system. I mean, one of the problems as a lay Buddhist is that sometimes we set our bar too high. We want to do things that relinquish more sensual pressure. But along the way, we didn't do it. So we developed this guilt complex. So as Bante said before, you are not supposed to give up the normal little bit of sensual pleasure. But sometimes I find very difficult to judge where to put the bar. That's why I put up just this question just now. Is there a general guideline of where do you put the lines? I mean, of course, you can use 5 precepts as one basic. Yeah, and then the other guideline is you don't harm yourself, don't harm people. But sometimes I don't know how to express myself, but I find that sometimes it can be very difficult to put. And sometimes when your faith is very strong, you come here, I want to do this. I want to let go of all the sensual food. Then along the way, you you lower your standard. That is my question.
If I understand correctly of your question, you are asking how to draw the thin line between karma and nekkama, is it?
Bhante said that we are allowed some form of karma. So sometimes you don't know where is the indulgence. Make example, I like to watch a lot of shows, movies. So one of the way is I try to cut down my shows. And one of the way is I force myself to practice 8 precepts for certain day of the week of the month. So is that one of the way to do it? And I know addiction.
Well, it depends. It depends. As we understand from the Buddhist text, the Buddha has clearly mentioned about the lay people's life in the Singhalavada Sutta. So, according to Singhalavada Sutta, as you understand, that there are certain things that you are not supposed to do. Now you talk about the shows, right? Cut down on the shows. If you go to the Singhalavada Sutta, the Buddha clearly talks something about the shows. And then, you might perhaps mean an online program, maybe a YouTube program, probably. So in that case, you should understand that you need to set a boundary, not falling into the addiction of this watching. There are people, you may have seen, sometimes they watch a movie and they stop and they get back to their work. But some people are watching one by one the whole day. They are addicted. They cannot stop it. That is a bad karma. Yeah. There may be somebody, he or she might watch in their spare time and then turn it off and go back to their other things. That is our discipline. So we cannot say, is that 2 movie, 3 movie, 4 movie? What I can say is that being able to set a boundary to our own karma is very important. That is the karma line, I think. So different people take it differently, but a good way to self-check in whether you have a healthy karma or whether you have unhealthy karma is that whether you can manage your karmas or not. That is the best way to check in this concept, healthy karma. So if you cannot manage your, if you cannot stop in time of your karmas, let's say if you cannot manage and you feel that you are drawn into an addiction, that is bad karma. But if you think that you are not having bad karma, you are not addicted, then that karma is healthy. You know what to do, you know when to stop, right? Yeah. That is healthy karma.
Like Bhante said that you can check it at the kilesa level, at the first level.
Well, as a layperson, as I said, try to limit to kilesa level. Sometimes you may have to go to vattu level also. Let's say you have a family, you have some family duties, so then you have to go to 6 karma bonus, but don't go beyond that. So you have a family, you have to maintain the family, take care of them, right? But there are people who are going even beyond that. That is bad. That is unhealthy, right? So I think that is unnecessary karma. All right.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe I go back to the chat questions again till somebody asks a question. So just give me a couple minutes. How to prevent one from developing a guilt complex after indulging a bit too ouch. Okay. In Buddhism, we need to be remorseful for a moment, but then never dwell on that thought. We call it Uddacha Kuppucha. Kuppucha is a Nivarana, hindrance. Let's say somebody made a mistake. Now it's already happened. You cannot change it. So you go and look at it and then tell yourself, I'm not going to repeat it again. That's it. But there are people who go back and keep thinking, I made the mistake. So that person will never be able to get out of that remorse. Remorse is a dosa, hatred. It's like grief. It's like the remorse. So you have to understand, if you did a mistake, now you cannot change it. You have to understand the moment. So do not dwell on that guilty thing. You can replace that particular mistake that you made in good ways, right? Do not dwell on that particular activity because it's gone, you can't change it. Bhante, you mentioned that the antidote for karma is to practice nekkhamma. Is there any similarity to practicing self-restraint? Yes, self-restraint means indriya sangha, taking care of, watching, guarding your senses, right? So when you guard your senses, yes, that is the first point, right? When like karmas are coming onto our senses. So when you guard your senses, it is very easy for you to practice nekkhamma. And also you have to keep your healthy karmas as healthy, not going beyond, not crossing the normal karma levels. Bhante, how to practice Brahma Viharas to reach Nibbana? Majjhima Nikaya 52. So I advise you to read that. Can you explain the parallel of passa being the cause of karma, cause of karma, not karma, as well as the origin of karma? Yes, because you are coming up with lots of karmas because you have felt something, you had a touch before. Because of that touch only, you see that there is rupa karma, saddha karma, gandha karma, rasa karma, pottabha karma, and dhamma karma. That is why that level of touch has to be carefully looked at, so you can minimize karmas. Also, after that, you are creating karmas too. Right? Can I say that karma is a desire for pleasant feeling and not unpleasant feeling? No, karma can be a desire for the both, right? It can be a desire for the both. Now, for example, you may have seen people who have been hating oneself, right? That could be a karma. On the other hand, for them, so it could be working for the both, pleasant and unpleasant. If it is a pleasant feeling, can I say that it is neutral? If you don't desire wholesome, or unwholesome thought. Result positive if we desire wholesome. If we desire for negative, actually, karma includes both pleasant and unpleasant feelings. All right, Sister Kwa, yeah, please ask your question.
Just now you mentioned about reflection, and then I heard a Pali word. I didn't quite get it.
Pachavekkana. Let me type that for you. The English reflection, in Pali we call it Pachavekkana.
Pachavekkana.
The other one is Yoniso Manasikara. We call it wise attention. These two are the starting point for your karma.
Can you give us example of how we process this management of karma using Yoniso Manasikara and using Pachavekkana? Could you give us an example of when we are having karma, and how are we going to use the process?
Yes, wise attention means that you are trying to trace any sensory experience you had down to its origin. Now, the sensory experience must have happened earlier, mostly, for the most part. Let's say somebody was mean to you, very bad to you. Now you are having a lot of interpretations about that particular incident. But the Buddha says, when something happened, pleasant or unpleasant, you need to go to the bottom of that particular event to understand understand what really happened. That is called Yoniso Manasikara. It's like a iceberg. When you see an iceberg, in the sea, only the tip can be seen. Now, we normally look at the tip of the problem, the problem from the tip level, but we have to look at the whole iceberg. So that means Yoniso Manasikara means we are going to look at the whole iceberg to understand the problem and then to come up with that. That is called Yoniso Manasikara. But you have to do all the time. The Yoniso Manasikara is mostly for something that had happened before, normally. You can use it for present time too. But Pachavekkana, which you call reflection, is something that you must do now. When you talk, when you think, when you act. We normally call it before you think, reflect before you think, reflect during you think, reflect after you think. Right? Reflect before you talk, reflect during you talk, reflect after you talk. Reflect before you act, reflect during act, reflect after. This is the way how you're going to practice reflection. Because when you practice reflection, you can minimize all the akusans. All the akusans, even before they come up. But Yoniso Manasikara, wise attention, is mostly for the understanding about things that happened to us before. Why it happened. How are you going to look at it? We normally evaluate any problem from the tip, not from the whole iceberg. Make sense? All right. Then, Bante, how about voice of another? I thought it is with no. Voice of another is listening to Dhamma talk. It is another thing that you have to practice. But Yoniso Manasikara is more important after that. Now you may listen to many people. Sometimes they are Dhamma, sometimes they are Adhamma. Some people are giving their own thoughts about Dhamma, saying that this is Dhamma. That is why first you will listen, then you have to practice Yoniso Manasikara. You have to use wise attention. Is this a true Dhamma teaching? Right? That is coming up with Yoniso Manasikara. So what I can say to you is that karma is one of the mostly misunderstood topic in Buddhism. Highly misunderstood topic, like meditation. Meditation, karma. I would put this into the same basket. In that basket, you see karma, karma, because people say if something bad happens, this is my own karma. How do we know? Buddha said clearly, things happen from different reasons. Karma is not one reason. So karma is also a highly misunderstood topic because of the lot of Adhamma speeches, people think that we have to give up to the whole karma. Highly misunderstood. Yes, Sonia?
Thank you, Bante.
Yes.
Bante, in a recent BGF interview with Uncle Vijaya, Bante mentioned that there are 4 things that we shouldn't spend too much time on. And one of the 4 things is the workings of karma. Can Bante please explain that in versus what Bante said just now about understanding karma well and thoroughly? Thank you.
Karma is a different topic. Actually, we've been talking about karma, K-long-A-M-A, but karma is a different topic. I think what I said in that discussion was that there are 4 things the Buddha asks us not to think too much. One is about the Buddhas. Don't think too much about the Buddhas. Because if you think, you will be mentally sick one day. The Buddha said, Ummadasa. Don't think about your, karmas a lot. There are 2 other things. If I'm correct, it could be one of them is chittas. Right? So there are as such 4 things that people should not think too much. But today we are talking karma. We can think about karma. Buddha never said, don't think too much about karma. Because we need karma. As lay people, you need karma. You need to know the healthy level of the karma.
So Bante, when you say the workings of karma, one of the 4 things, the workings of karma, that karma is different, is it, from the karma that we talked that Bhante taught us today? Are those two different things?
Bad karmas.
No, so the four imponderables that Bhante talked about in that interview, in the BGF interview, about Buddhas, jhana, workings of karma, as well as cosmos. When Bhante talked about the workings of karma, is that different from the karma that Bhante taught us just now?
Yeah. That is karma. K-A-M-M-A. That is karma.
Okay.
But this is karma. K-long-A-M-A. Two
Okay.
different topics.
Yes. Okay.
Ah,
Thank you,
okay.
Bhante. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Somebody is asking a question here. Bhante, could you give an example of karma that leads to unpleasant feeling? Yes, there are a lot of karmas. I mean, let's say that you are trying to look for a bad karma, wrong karma, right? Let's say you are a married person. You are looking for a relationship out of your marriage, right? And then finally, you get caught. Maybe you are feeling worried about that. You are remorseful. Then that will lead to an unpleasant feeling one day. Even here and in other words. Bhante, will you be sharing your note with us? Suggestion, it will be help. Yes. I'm not just hiding my notes. Huh? I'm not a dead cell. I'm going to share all my notes. Don't worry. I'll be asking our admin group to share on Google Slides. Yes. Paratu, what about karma and karma? They are two different things. Karma is intentional activity. Karma is sensual pleasure. It's a sensual pleasure, sensual desire. Yeah, karma is Sanskrit too. Yeah. So let me clarify. Karma is sensual pleasure. Kamma and karma, that means intentional activity, right? Okay, we will take only these two questions from the chat. Yes. Paratu Kosha and Yoniso Manasikara, these two need to write yes. Yes, but along with the reflection. After Yoniso Manasikara, then mindfulness of feeling and mind and Dhamma isn't the second, third, fourth foundation. No, I think you have misunderstood. These Satipatthanas come at the Samma Sati. They don't come at the beginning. When you have Yoniso Manasikara only, you are going into the Samma Ditti. Samma Sati happens, which has Satipatthanas happen at the seventh level.